Welcome to Atlanta, hammers and bows, back to the mackin' and the clothes, adolescents packing a knock on the door. Who is it? I would happen to know, the one with the flow. Who did it? It was me, I suppose. JD in the rolls and Luda's in the cut supreme, skating down old Nat, tucked and lean. His spleen, as a matter of fact, I your team. No blood on the sneaks, gotta keep it so my kicks is clean. I get the cream, cops see me flick my beams. I'm allergic to doctors.
Very first episode of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment's Four Corner Wars. On today's episode, you're going to see two standouts from CWF Mid-Atlantic, Nick Richards versus Eric Royal, and also in this week's main event, the crown jewel of Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment had an open challenge, and it was accepted by Japanese sensation Hakuto. That's right, Hakuto versus Jimmy Rave will be your main event. Let's go to myself and Adrian Armour calling the action now. Josh Wheeler here with Adrian Armour, and this is a matchup from Homegrown 2015. Nick Richards versus Eric Royal, two CWF Mid-Atlantic standouts making their debuts at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment in singles competition, and you actually are familiar with these two.
I'm familiar with both of them. Myself and Siler Cross faced them in Canton as a tag team, and those two guys, like, they pair up really well. And the one thing about this match is that partners make some of the best competitors, and since they know each other inside and out, this should be a good one.
Well, we noticed Nick Richards before the matchup was a little hesitant letting the referee check him out, and honestly, he's a little out there. Do you know much about his background? Because I think the guy might be certifiable like crazy.
That's kind of messed up, Josh. I'm going to be pretty honest with you, because everyone in this industry is a little bit crazy. Everybody.
Well, Nick Richards is almost like Mick Foley crazy in a sense. I mean, look, the guy's got the jeans on, you know, scraggly hair. It looks like he just came off the street. He's got his taped fist. He's ready to fight. At the same time, you got to realize the guy is not all up there in the head.
To me, anyone in the professional wrestling business that likes to get beat up and then hopes to get paid for it, I don't think is too right in the head. But that's just my opinion.
Well, here we go with the lockup, and definitely the size advantage is going to go to Eric Royal here in this one. I mean, he's what, 6'4", 6'5", around 285, 300 pounds, easily, you know, about the size of an NFL lineman. Oh my goodness, that's a nice hip toss there, and there's Richards rolling to the outside.
The big man is one of the. He's exactly what I just said. He's huge. He's a big guy. He picked me up and tossed me around when we went against them as a tag team. So the guy is nothing short of just fantastic power. He
kind of reminds me of Butch Reed, if you remember the old 1980s Mid-South a little bit. Probably actually a little bit bigger than Butch Reed, though, and he just brought Nick Richards in the hard way, and Nick Richards calling a timeout. You know, the old cliche, there's no timeouts in wrestling. You of course, know that one all too well as yourself.
I've never called a timeout in wrestling before. So.
Well, there was times when you guys were managed by Kevin Pierce and you guys could talk strategy.
Did Kevin Pierce call the timeout?
Oh, that was a nice slam right there. It's
power.
That is absolute power. That's only a 2 count, but man, that was pure power. And Eric Royal is not playing with Nick Richards here in this one. This is the first matchup in Four Corner Wars history.
Look at you. You put on your epic voice for that. Four Corner Wars history. Doesn't that sound good? For AWE to make a standing point just like this. For Four Corner Wars, this is going to be a stepping stone, a monumental stepping stone for Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment.
Well, it is a very unique web show I did it where we're producing here, and that was a beautiful move there as well. Cheap, but it was a beautiful move because it gets the advantage, and I don't know about a headlock and with a guy that size.
What's wrong with a headlock? A headlock, no matter the size, can always be effective. Squeezing that forearm onto the temple, it hurts anyone, no matter how big you are.
Nice trip up there. Well, and what I meant by the headlock on a guy that size, I mean, you're pretty much, and that was a beautiful leapfrog from the big man. And Richards playing to the crowd a little bit too much after that knee. Probably should have just, oh my goodness. Ooh, that one hurts. And again, we see that pure power just literally picking him up like a sack of potatoes and tossing him over the top rope right in front of the crowd. And, of course, they start throwing the toilet paper, which I guess has become some kind of thing here at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment.
It's true, and things that become trademark with the AWE crowd is that they really get behind their favorites. Eric Royal with the classic yay, yay. It reminds me of another dark-skinned fella that's out on TV named Roman Reigns. He has a little catchy thing like yay, yay as well. I think it's hoo-ah. It's something like that. Speaking of hoo-ah, watch that baseball slide. It's beautiful. Nick Richards may be a little outside of his head, but he knows what he's going for in this match.
I'm still shocked about the comment about Roman Reigns, but other than that, this has been a very good match here in the opening. Oh, and there you go, Cactus Jack style elbow there on the outside, right in front of the mosh pit of the crowd at the Masquerade in Hell, the bottom level of the Masquerade, one of the most historic venues in Atlanta, and Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment has made this our home, and is there any irony to that?
Irony to us being in hell? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Because to me, I don't think it's really anything ironic at all. I think this is exactly where we were meant to be ever since the first show in hell. Like it has that atmosphere where we're accepted and we're wanted. And to me, you can't ask for anything. And I love that. I love that environment. And what better place to be, if it's called hell or not, to be accepted and to be invited and to not only that be praised. And that chop is something that was praised to the chesticle muscles right there. Nick Richards is going to have to find his chest after this match.
Nick Richards keeps going to the cheap shots, gouging the eye right after that brutal chop, and now here he is trying to choke him against the ropes. He's trying to do everything he can. I'll say this, the kid is scrappy. The kid is definitely hungry, but again, there he goes playing to the fans, and the fans are overzealous. They're loud. You've wrestled in front of them. I mean, this is a rowdy bunch of fans that we've found at the Masquerade inside hell.
That's the one thing about that intimacy that I was talking about. In hell, it's so close. The crowd's right there. There's no seats up close. They're standing up. Their energy, their vibrations is right with us in the ring. You can't get anything more intimate than that.
Speaking of vibrations, that was a Polish hammer to the jaw that just made his entire face vibrate. Ryan Harmon, the referee, gets a 2 count on that one. Oh, another clubbing forearm. These guys are really slugging it out here in this contest.
Beautiful kitchen sink. There's something about these North Carolina guys in the kitchen sink. I feel like they perfected their North Carolina. And you said earlier, these two standouts coming from CWF Mid-Atlantic. I don't know what it is, but maybe the kitchen sink is their go-to. Maybe it's their clothesline. Maybe it's I don't want to say maybe it's their lariat because it's trademarked by the Lethal Weapons. And Bro Do You Even Lariat can be found at ProWrestlingTees.com/the Lethal Weapons.
Okay, cheap plug for your T-shirts, but it might be like the leg lariat, which was a staple move of the late 90s, early 2000s, and most independent wrestling areas. That was a beautiful clothesline there from the big man, Eric Royal. And the crowd's starting to get behind Eric Royal. Is he looking for a spear maybe? He's calling for something here. Oh, that was like a running forearm type. Oh, another one right there. Man. That's a bad place to be right there. Did he literally just pick him up into a suplex?
That is the one thing about power that I tried to put over earlier. The man took him from what looked to the basic eye to be a follow-away slam, snatched him up and gave him a vertical suplex. Eric Royal is power.
Now, at this homegrown show, we had Moose. What would you think about Eric Royal versus Moose?
Terrifying.
What about Eric Royal versus your tag partner?
Terrifying.
Eric Royal and Iceberg.
Terrifying.
The super heavyweights are definitely lining up here at Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment to show that they can go just like the smaller guys can go. And you don't see that a lot in the mainstream wrestling anymore, do you?
And nowadays you have to step up. No matter what size you are, it's a really competitive nature out there because now you have big man doing moonsaults, dives, double moonsaults. I don't believe that one, but hey, put it out there. Those things are getting insane, and no matter your weight class, no matter your height, you have to step up your performance or it's just not acceptable anymore.
These punches right here are absolutely knocking Nick Richards through the ropes onto the apron. I mean, Eric Royal has really just beat the dog shit out of Nick Richards in this matchup. I mean, almost the entire match has just been punches and just slugging him. And now the straps go down, and anyone that's ever watched wrestling knows when the straps goes down, it's time to get serious.
It's a very true fact. I used to have straps on myself, if anyone remembers the glorious Super Suit. When the zipper went down, when the straps went down, a lariat was coming soon. And look at the power. And there's
wow, that was beautiful. It was almost like a running tackle, very similar to the old Hacksaw Jim Duggan finish that he used to use in the old UWF. Beautiful win there for Eric Royal. I want to see more of this guy. We got to make this happen. Let's see more Eric Royal on AWE. What do you think about that?
I think Eric Royal versus Adrian Armour needs to happen.
Well, I might know the people that can make that happen. What a first matchup here on Four Corner Wars, and we'll be right back after this quick look at Chip Day versus Andrew Everett. What a fantastic matchup. Eric Royal showing that he is tough enough for AWE. And speaking of two guys that are tough enough for professional wrestling in general, Andrew Everett and Chip Day had an amazing matchup at Homegrown 2015. We're going to show you some highlights of that matchup, and if you want to see the entire thing, go to our YouTube channel, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, and check that one out. It's only $1.99 for the download. Chip Day, Andrew Everett, two fantastic athletes, and that's all we bring to Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. And on May 21st, we are bringing even more great athletic competition to Atlanta, Georgia at our debut show at the Quad. It's Oh My Quad, Thursday night, May 21st, your kickoff to Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you check us out. It's going to be Jimmy Rave versus Chip Day. 11 months in the making. Literally, these two guys have been at each other's throat in one way, shape, or form since the debut show. Speaking of Jimmy Rave, let's take it to Jimmy Rave versus Hackto in your main event on this week's episode of AWE's Four Corner Wars. Here we are, the second matchup on Four Corner Wars. This is Jimmy Rave versus Hackto. What do you know about Hackto?
Hackto, what I love to call the Japanese Wonder Kid. This man right here is something special. And being young in this business, he's made some strides, some very grand strides. But now he's having what to him personally is a dream match with Jimmy Rave. And it's already seeming to be something way too hot for his comfort.
Well, he's got the control here early because he's showing Jimmy Rave that he has a little bit of technical prowess. He is a guy that lived in Japan, watched Jimmy Rave perform at in Dragon Gate and also in New Japan. So he's studied Jimmy Rave. And of course, Jimmy Rave is a Ring of Honor superstar back before the company was nationally known. And here's a guy who grew up watching Jimmy Rave almost like you would grow up watching some of the guys that are on TV, you know, a few years ago.
Exactly, and to have the opportunity to not just watch them and study them, but now be right next to them and compete. That's something special. Not a lot of people get that opportunity. So right now, I know that Hakuto is not taking this situation lightly at all.
Well, good question there. Is Jimmy Rave taking this match lightly? Because Jimmy Rave, undefeated in AWE competition. No one's been able to beat him. That includes Chip Day, Kyle Matthews, Murder One, Mike Cruz. I mean, top of the line professional wrestlers in the Southeast. No one's been able to beat him. And now here he is facing almost a virtually unknown in Hakuto. Is Jimmy Rave taking Hakuto a little bit lightly?
More than likely. Jimmy Rave has proven in AWE he has no respect for anyone. He has no respect for anyone except for his family. And if you're outside of his family, he doesn't care. So he probably thinks he's in the ring with some fanboy, some guy that saw him and thinks that he can do this because Jimmy Rave could do it. And Jimmy Rave is probably going to teach him a lesson.
Speaking of his family, Jimmy Rave, trained by Murder One, and that kind of includes that entire, I guess you call it the Dark City family of Murder One, Corey Chavis, Iceberg, Jimmy Rave, and it also includes Chip Day, who's a good friend of yours. And the things that Jimmy Rave has done to Chip Day, is this Hakuto match kind of like Jimmy Rave saying, hey, look, I can face a guy similar to you, Chip. And, oh, that clothesline was disgusting.
Speaking of the word disgusting, it's underlined right there. Like I said, Jimmy Rave is going to teach Hakuto a lesson. It's one of those things where you can promote, hey, this is going to be a dream match of mine, but some people take that as an insult. It makes them think this is some young kid that thinks he can take my spot and get the rub by being in the ring with me, and Jimmy is going to let him know, your bone structure means nothing to me right now.
And that's something that Jimmy Rave said going back to the very first show of AWE, was he was tired of being a footstool for the young generation. That he still got it. He can still go. That even though he took the time off, he's still the best wrestler in Georgia. He claims he's the crown jewel of not only just Atlanta wrestling, but Georgia wrestling. And you being a competitor, is Jimmy Rave, is he at the top? Is he the pinnacle of this state?
For now. That's the one thing. He can claim all of that for now. But as the time wears, as he cracks as many bones as he cracks during his opponents, it wears on him as well. So Jimmy Rave can say that he's the crown jewel for now, but just like we discover different elements every day, it will be a new jewel, and his place will be taken.
It's a fair assessment. Oh, that's a brutal chop. And Jimmy Rave really kind of toying with Hakuto here early on. The clothesline earlier in the match definitely hurt Hakuto, and now he's just brutalizing the young kid. And this is almost like a dojo-type training session right now. And I do think that Jimmy Rave has sent a message to Chip Day in this matchup saying, hey, this is you in my mind. Oh, that's a beautiful backside. Very reminiscent of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, actually.
Nature Boy Ric Flair, back suplex. It's beautiful historian knowledge there. I'm really proud of you there.
I do watch a lot of wrestling.
It's true. Maybe it's too much sometimes. Anyways, Hakuto, the Japanese Wonder Kid, you mentioned this is kind of a dojo-like, just disgusting beatdown. We've seen Jimmy Rave give chops like that turns people's chest into hamburger meat, and then he'll grill it up and eat it and get the 3 count every single time.
And now Jimmy Rave on top. I mean, just it's almost a domination type thing here at this point. Oh, Hakuto's showing fight though. This kid is not willing to give up, even though it is painful for him to even throw those chops right now. How bad is that shoulder that Jimmy Rave hurt early in the match?
I mean, did you hear the sound off of it? It sounded like somebody took a mason jar and threw it out of the wall. It was disgusting. And you mentioned the word domination, and sometimes domination can be... It's not so much. Speaking of domination, what about the nation of domination? We mentioned something about the
Dark City.
Dudes with attitude.
The Dark City.
Okay, so if they're...
And you see Murder One there at ringside. I mean, he's, you know, the leader of this Dark City family.
So kind of like the Nation of Domination.
I guess so.
You have to relate to me. I'm a younger. Look at that beautiful hurricane.
I think a better assessment would be it'd always be like the Hart Foundation.
I don't believe that because there's more black people in the Dark City. So that would mean Jimmy Rave would be the nugget of the Dark City.
You said it, not me. That's Adrian Armour saying Jimmy Rave is a nugget. I do not want this getting back to Jimmy Rave because I don't want any problems with Jimmy Rave. As most of you seen at most of the live shows, as soon as I get in the ring, Jimmy Rave and Murder One are coming right out. So I don't want any problems with Jimmy Rave.
I mean, the Nugget was a very strong foundation to the Nation of Domination. That, to me, that's not an insult. That actually should be a compliment. That kick right there was an insult. Hakdo is doing the insults, not me. I'm just putting something in relatable fashion to anyone watching this program.
But look at those beautiful counter wrestling, catch-as-catch-can style wrestling. And Hakdo, again, showing this fighting spirit that you see a lot in the Japanese wrestling culture. And is Hakdo got enough in him to beat Jimmy Rave? That's a beautiful variation of the cross arm breaker there. This is an MMA style move.
It is, and I've done it so many times, especially back before when I was doing MMA before I started doing professional wrestling. But the one thing is, Hakdo's arm looks like what would be an uncooked ramen noodle packet. So right now, it's really difficult because it's just hanging and it's dead weight right now. He's doing his best to keep his energy high. But once again, Jimmy Rave shuts him down.
And that's the thing that I've noticed about this match here in this beautiful Dust Till Dawn, and he's got the shoulder wrapped. The experience, the tenacity, the technical prowess of Jimmy Rave has got Hakdo in the middle of the ring. I don't know if this kid, he can't. There he is tapping out. Unbelievable testament to the fighting spirit of Hakdo, but just not enough to beat the crown jewel of Atlanta wrestling. I mean, he's the uncrowned champion.
Uncrowned. But right now, he's the crown of AEW. Just like I gave Hakdo the Japanese Wonder Kid, Jimmy Rave is the crowned nugget.
Well, he might be the crowned nugget, but on Thursday, May 21st, he steps in the ring for the second time to face Chip Day, and that's going to be an amazing matchup, a rematch going all the way back from July. Chip Day has asked and begged and pleaded and finally, oh my goodness! Adrian Armour has just entered the ring, and oh my God, what a clothesline. That is the Destructo Disc from hell right there, and he is staring down Murder One, and there's a huge punch right there, and he's taking the jacket off. We're out of time.